My name is Mwangi Kirubi, as the government knows me, but most of my friends know me as Mwav, with a V. The name Mwav actually is a shortened form of Mwavelas, and it's a name that I adopted or was given to me 10 years ago. I was brought up in Eastlands. I'm an Eastlando kid. I am married to one beautiful woman, Gina Wanjiru. We have one beautiful daughter, Nezereza Modoni, daughter number 1 of 7 children, hopefully. Gina, I hope this is not a surprise to you. All my siblings are in the US. Yeah, I'm now the only of my parents' children who's actually in Kenya right now. There was an opportunity to go to the US, to the land of milk and honey, but I decided to try and find my milk and honey here in Kenya. I had even applied for a college and been admitted. Happy that when I told my parents, I'm not really feeling this US thing, they said, sawa sawa, do what you're passionate about. That time I just finished graphic design college in Buruburu, and I was at my first job at Ogilvy and Mather, and I was a junior copywriter. Then I went and worked at a radio station, and then after that I got into self-employment, kujitafutia milk and honey. And what actually made me go into self-employment is my boss. He was a cool guy, but he wasn't a good boss. Your bad boss could be a way of God telling you, get out of your comfort zone. So from there, we left and started an agency with a friends of mine. This is where we are at right now. It's Arc Creative. Then in 2009, I stepped aside and started doing photography full-time. Started a company called Click. Right now, I'm like doing 2 jobs at the same time. I'm doing photography, and I'm also doing creative strategy at Arc. I've been in the arts ever since primary school. So art has always been there. I think my intention was actually to get into film, to go and make movies. It is still my intention, and I believe what I'm doing right now is sort of like a learning process to where I hope I will eventually be, which is now telling the stories about Kenya that we need to remember. So I grew up family in the Catholic Church. My dad and my mom are still active in the church. I don't know. Then it hit me one day that the relationship that I have with God, it has to manifest externally in the way I relate with people, in the way I talk to people, in the way I conduct my business. From the get-go, as we set up the business, we've worked to be tax compliant. We've worked to deliver on time and keep to our word. When we say we're going to do work by a certain time, we work towards that. If we would not be able to keep our promise, we actually now trigger the apology. We also need to pay people fairly. We need to pay them what they are worth. And this has not been easy. Doing business in this town as a Christian is not easy. Many are the temptations to actually cut corners and not pay taxes and overcharge. Every single small decision has a huge consequence in the future. I think one of my lowlights in the last 10 years is from when we had to let go of a member of staff. That took me aback. I've lost equipment, it's insurance, the insurance will take care of that, but telling somebody that we can't keep you on the payroll anymore, I wish it would be different. Some of the highlights I've had in my career, the first one is being able to elevate the profile of the Kenyan farmers through work that I did for a USAID project, and being able to document farmers around the country in a more positive light, because even the term mshamba means like somebody who is not desirable. Yes, it's the people who actually feed the country. I mean, our country would not exist were it not for the farmers. I got invited by a client of ours to take the test ride on the SGR launched by the president.
So now what I'm doing is running to be able to take some shots of the station.
I got to give a different perspective of a national investment that the government had actually made. Then I also got to take photos of the president and his deputy. We are inside the State House right now. I always say that I do not know what it would take for me to actually have an appointment with the president or his deputy. I don't know, should I talk to my MCA? Do I talk to the chief? Like, who exactly will I talk to? But because of my camera and I guess the consistency of the quality that I've done, I actually got to have an appointment, like 3 or 4 hours in State House, one-on-one with the president. Yeah, and it was amazing. It was a great time being there. I wasn't alone. It was me and Alan, who's also a member of Mavuno Church, listening to some rumba music and taking photos of them. It was an enjoyable time. Something else that I believe that for me is I'm happy that I've been able to do is open up parts of Kenya to people getting to travel there. people getting to know that Marsabit is not a desert. It actually has Kenya's, East Africa's only true desert, which is the Chalbi, but it also has a rainforest, and amazingly green rainforest. Every single country in this continent, every single county, every single city has something to celebrate. And sharing stories about people who should be celebrated and not looked down upon, those I believe are the highlights of my career. There's a saying that I had in advertising, so it's like when I was starting, which was like 20 years ago, that you're only as good as your last job. For me, it's just humbling to be used by God to inspire other people and to uplift other people. Colossians 3:23 says, work as though you are working for the Lord and not for man. Now, when I know God is my client, it means that I have to deliver something that is very good, because He knows the skill that He's put in me. He knows my capabilities and my abilities, and I need to deliver at that level. Even if it's one person's life made better, then I believe that is now living out your faith, because at the end of the day, we're here to make this world a better place.